morning, afternoon, and evening, my fellow Rams, and welcome back to another episode of the WCU Weekly. Back at it again is the B team, aka the best team, Calvin Carr.
And Evan Vaitia. Now, we all know the past week has been rather stressful among campus goers. After all, deciding our country's fate brings quite the pressure. But nonetheless, we are extremely grateful for those who decided to put themselves out there and get their voices heard to ensure that we can thrive as both WCU students and U.S. citizens.
Yes, thank you very much to all of our voters out there. Now, hopefully, we can provide some good news and some interesting events for you all to help keep your mind off things for just a little bit and find a way to not only support yourself, but also your peers. But before that, let's get a quick update on our hardworking sportsmen and women and to see how they're handling the transition into Thanksgiving season. The floor is all yours, Kerry.
Hey Golden Rams, my name is Kerry Dillon and I'm your host for sports. We only have a few games coming up for our fall sports this week, so if you can go to those games or if you know where to watch, go support our Rams. Starting off on Thursday, we have women's basketball starting off their season facing off at Holy Family University starting at 6 p.m. On Friday, women's volleyball starts to wrap up their season with a game against Shepherd University in Hollinger at 6 p.m. And on Saturday, they celebrate their senior day in Hollinger against Shippensburg at 1 p.m. Also on Saturday, we have women's rugby traveling to Michigan to play Davenport University, and men's basketball plays against Wilmington University at home at 4 p.m. Go out and support our athletes and make sure to tune in to WCU Weekly every week. My name is Kerry Dillon, and thank you for tuning in.
Looks like our Rams are still kicking butts and taking names this semester. Now to all of our lovely commuters here on campus. The off-campus and commuter services will be hosting a Stuff a Plush event on Thursday, November 14th, over in the Sykes TV Lounge from 2 to 4 p.m. Commuters will be able to choose one of 4 cute little animals and make their own stuffed pal. After registering on the Ram Connect page, be sure to head over there as soon as you can because supplies will be limited. Then on Friday, November 15th, the NCNW will kick off their Powder Puff Game Day starting at 6:45 p.m., where one of 2 sides will come out on top in a high-stakes game of flag football. Of course, it's not always just about the action, but also about representing school spirit and teamwork. So if you got $2 to spare, be sure to go cheer on your classmates in the John A. Farrell Stadium this Friday.
You know, I bet a little cuddle buddy would be a great stress reliever during times like these.
Yes, no, absolutely. That and maybe some cozy blankets and some warm drinks as the fall season starts to dim down a little bit within the coming months. Speaking of, Rochelle, how's the weather looking this week?
Hi Rams, I'm Rochelle here with this week's 10-day weather forecast. We start the week with a sunny day and a high of 68. At night, we see a low of 47. On Tuesday, the high drops to 63 with a low of 37. Wednesday is a chilly, partly cloudy day with a high of 59 and a low of 46. On Thursday, we finally see some rain with a 58% chance. We'll see temperatures from 61 to a low of 42. Finally, on Friday, we see a partly cloudy day with a high of 54 and a low of 38. That's it for this week's weather. Have a good week, Rams.
Thanks for the update, Rochelle. Let's hope the weather stays tame enough for you to all attend these upcoming events. Feel like you've been neglecting your mental health recently? You may want to attend the Health and Wellness Expo on November 13th from 1 to 3 at the Sciences and Engineering Center. You'll have the chance to engage with fellow students as well as some department staff to learn about your health and wellness. On November 12th, the Astronomical Society will have their monthly meeting in Marion Science Center, where Dr. Ravi Sheth will be speaking on making black holes out of light. For an out-of-this-world experience, be sure to RSVP on their Ram Connect page. Now let's wrap it all up with Nyla and her inside scoop on the entertainment industry.
Good morning, Calvin and Evan, and happy November to all you Golden Rams. In recent news, musical fans can look forward to the film release of Wicked, November 22nd. There are tons of familiar faces who have decided to join this franchise, but one who particularly stands out is Ariana Grande, who's been seen playing Glinda. This star has announced that she is using her real name for the end credits, as a love note to her younger self, in order to pay homage to how influential these characters were in her upbringing. Speaking of childhoods, the famous TGI Fridays is the most recent restaurant chain to file for bankruptcy, being nearly $100 million in debt. While this is devastating for this household name, the company plans on exploring strategic alternatives to stay open in the future and better manage their finances. With the topic of planning being discussed, I believe it is important to note that November 5th marked Election Day, and the U.S. has declared Donald Trump as the 47th president. Kamala Harris had a peaceful concession speech where she encouraged the American people to keep hope alive. Clearly anything is possible if a felon can be president. I guess times are changing for the collective. In lighter news, the eagerly awaited Starbucks holiday cups are out, and the chain claims to be very excited for their lean into green this season. That's all for now, folks. Thanks for tuning in.
Thank you so much, Nyla. Well, that's it for us today. As always, don't forget to follow us on Instagram at WCU Weekly to keep up with the latest. And of course, stay tuned for a new episode every week.
And again, just before we sign off, a gentle reminder that between the election and our last month and a quarter on campus, which means preparing for finals, class registration, graduation for some, please remember that you are not alone in these erratic times, and to make sure you can continue to support your own well-being however you can.
Absolutely. Everyone's path on campus is different, so be sure to make the best of your journey ahead. And we hope we were able to help by offering some suggestions to make that journey just a bit easier. Until next time, I'm Evan Vaitia.
And I am Calvin Carr. Stay safe out there, my beautiful Rams.